We are in chapter 9. The title of this chapter is Rajavidya Rajaguhyam, King of Knowledge, and it is very difficult to understand. Whatever is secret, we are inquisitive to know what is that secret. But here, unless and until we prepare ourselves, that means we should be eligible to go deep into it. Now we are only on the surface. We are not going inside. We have to delve deep into this jnanam. Lord Krishna is a Purna avatar. Is a complete avatar. Now we ignore the ever available divinity also in us. We also have a part of the divinity in us, the real nature. We are committing, you can call it a spiritual suicide. All evils follows the body-minded people. All evils. We are Satchidananda Swarupa. Ever existence, ever Purnam, Purnatvam, and infinity, infinite. Since we are not aware of this nature, we are in deluded situation now. Deluded means we have, as if somebody has taken some liquor and his intelligence has been deluded. Actually, the Atma does not require the body. But the body requires the Atma. If it has to be enlivened, the body has to be enlivened, Atma is required. In fact, our body creates lot of limitations and also gives us indefinite trouble. Even though we have an intelligence, buddhi, in spite of that, we think we are a bounded person. And we do not know how to know the Atma. But there are methods to know the Atma, because if unless and until our mind is pure, we will not be able to see the Atma. So the purification of the mind is very, very important. We are ever pure, that we are not aware. We are ever happy, that we are not aware. And that is why in the 10th and 11th shloka, Krishna is actually telling that generally people are not aware of my para prakriti, original nature of me. So he says in the 11th shloka, avajananti mam muda manushim tanumasritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. That means generally people do not take trouble to understand what we are, who we are. What is it that makes us sentient? I mean, there is a consciousness inside us. So that makes us move from place to place, think about various things, enjoy the nature, enjoy the objects, objective world. That means we are on the surface only. We are not going deeper into it. So Bhagavan says, on the 12th shloka, what is he now talking about? He says, Mokasha Moka Karmanaha Moka Jnana Vichetasaha Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva Prakritim Mohinim Sitaha. Mokasha Moka Karmanaha Moka Jnana Vichetasaha Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva Prakritim Mohinim Sitaha. The word Moka, not Moham. There is another word called Moham. Moham is delusion, intoxicated, Moham. He is not talking about Moham. Here, Moka. Moka is futile. Absolutely, it will not serve any purpose. That means he is describing a samsari like us. He is describing us here. Mokasha. Useless desires we entertain in our mind. Useless desires. That means we go on imagining things. When the Infosys Limited came into the share market in 1980 or 81, when the public issue came, 10 rupee share, there were not enough subscribers at that time. And that if somebody has got 10 shares allotted on that particular day, today he will be having about almost 1 crore of rupees. That is the value which has added to that share. So now I daydream. I am a share market operator. I dream, yes, I should have invested at that time. Even though I had the money, but I didn't invest. So this is called Mokasha, futile desires. So we entertain such desires. It's not going to give us any purpose. And then our activities are also like that. Moga karmanaha. What is the use of buying the share today, which is already at the peak rate? Moga karmanaha. That means all the activities we do does not produce any real benefit. When I say benefit, I mean it is not going to give you any deeper knowledge. We are only on the surface. For example, one of our children, we are all in Bombay, we are in one bedroom hall flat. So in the hall, the parents are looking at the TV and they enjoying the TV show, but the son is asked to study in the bedroom. Now he keeps the book open. His entire attention will not be on the book, but on the sound of the TV. What happens in that program? This is called Moka Karmanaha. Waste of time has passed. 2 hours he has seen. He has kept the book open, but nothing has gone inside. That is called Moka Karmanaha. Nochur Venkataraman used to say, sometime back he was in the village in Nochur for about 8 to 9 months. He didn't have any program at that time. So one of his neighbors, who was in US and in Dubai, a businessman, so he came to the village, wanted to see him, and they were chatting each other, and they went for a walk around 4 o'clock or something. And that Dubai businessman was talking about stock market, degeneration, depression, all these things he was talking about. And Nochur Venkataraman said, I do not know anything about the market, but I was just listening. So when they were returning, one of the village fellow has taken a bath in the in the tank, village tank, and then he was coming and meeting Venkatraman. He said, "Hey, hello, how are you?" So he said, "Yes." And then he said, "I am also a retired person. What I do is, in the evenings, I go to the tank, take a bath, put my wet towel on my shoulder, then go to the Bhagavati temple. Nochur has got a Bhagavati temple, pray to the god, have my dinner, then spread my towel on the floor and start sleeping. What more we need in the retired life?" So he talked about that for about 2-3 minutes. And then this businessman was really wonderstruck. What is this? What a simple life this man is leading. So he went to Dubai and sent an email to one of his friends in Nochur, Palakkad village, that man taught me what is simple life. Now I am thinking of depression in the share market, money making, and all these things, but nothing is required. Such activities are not required at all because we should start a simple living. So, simple living means what? Just look after the body and see that the body is well kept and spend some time in spiritual activities. This man is not actually a spiritual person, even though he goes to the temple. But in Vedanta, they say there is a section called Charvakas. Charvakas means their philosophy is live, make merry, and enjoy. Even if you do not have money, borrow the money, buy ghee, and then drink the ghee. So that is what their philosophy, Charvaka philosophy. Charvaka means they will speak so pleasantly, they will keep you enjoying. So that is the simple life. Moksha karma. So moksha, vain desires produces vain actions, and the vain actions is because of moksha jnana, deluded knowledge. Moksha jnana. They do not know for what they have got this birth, human birth. I mean, the goal of life is not very well clarified. Moksha jnanaha. Then he says, vichetasaha. Vichetasaha means you can literally translate as a foolish person. Vichetasaha. This is the way of a samsari. You can call it, most of us are in that category only. Mokasha, moka karmanaha, moka jnanaha, vichetasaha. That means we do not have any goal. On the surface, we want to enjoy the life. What is meant by enjoy my life is we are wasting our time in all those useless activities. It's not going to give us any benefit. Now, like in our own situation here in Naranadi, we see a different strata of people. Some people enjoy walking. Some people enjoy gossiping. Some people spend their time in unnecessary, useless talks like politics and other things. And some people, religious minded, they go to the temple. And some people, they want to keep their body clean, so healthy, so they go to gym or they play badminton or there is a swimming pool. Is that only our aim of life? What is the aim of life? Even an animal is also living like that. It gets its food, eats, procreates, and then one day it comes, dies. Same thing happens to us also. Is there any purpose in life? And this is what is called as, in the second line he says, Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva. Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva means we live like Rakshasas. Who is a Rakshasa? Ravana is an example of Rakshasa. He has all good qualities. But for his adharma activities, he was one of the greatest devotee of Shiva, Shiva Bhakta. He has learned Samveda and he is doing a lot of rituals, everything he does. But the bad quality is that his desire was very bad. Mokasha. He took Sita away from there, and then the trouble started. Ultimately, he lost himself. He was killed by Rama. That is Mokasha. They are Rakshasas. They are Rajoguna prominent. Predominant is Rajoguna. Every time active. I have to do this, I have to do that. I mean, he has no time, even though he has learned everything, all these religious things and all that. But he didn't concentrate on that because that knowledge was only available on the surface level, not at the deeper level. Then the other category is Rakshasas. Asuras. Asuras is another category. They enjoy in others' trouble. They want to trouble others and see looking at their troubles, they enjoy. They are the Asuras. Classical example is, all of you would have heard about Bhasmasura. So Bhasmasura prayed to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva appeared in front of him. Then he asked Bhasmasura, what do you want? And he said, if I keep my hand on anybody's head, he will become Bhasma, ashes. That is why it's called a Bhasmasura. So Lord Shiva is such a person, when you pray to him and you wanted a boon, he will grant the boon, provided your austerity is sincere. And then this Bhasmasura wanted to test whether what Lord Shiva has given to him. So he wanted to go and place the hand on Shiva's head. And Shiva started running helter-skelter. Finally, Shiva used his Shakti, Mohini. So Mohini appeared in front of Bhasmasura, and immediately Bhasmasura got enchanted with that Mohini, and then he followed Mohini. Then Mohini said, I am going to teach you some dance, because you should, before you come near me, learn the dance. I will teach you how to dance. Then she moved her legs and hands and all that. Finally, she put her hand on her head, and Bhasmasura has to follow the same. So he also kept his hand on his head and he turned into ashes. That is Bhasmasura. That is Asuric life. One is demonic life, the other is Asuric life. So we have classical examples. In the same family of Ravana has his brother Vibhishana. Vibhishana was a sattvic person. He knew, even though he happened to be a brother of Ravana, but his heart was on Sattva-guna. So Ravana was Rajoguna, Kumbhakarna was Tamoguna, all the time sleeping, and Vibhishana was Sattva-guna. So he says, Rakshasi Asurim Chaiva Prakritim. That is their nature, Prakriti. Then he says, what is the Prakriti's nature? Mohinim, deluded. Our intellect get deluded. Sritaha. So this is the description of a samsari. When you say samsari, see, even in our own body, we have all these three qualities. We have tamoguna, we have rajoguna, we have sattva-guna. Early morning when we get up, sometimes we are in sattva-guna. We start advising others and all that. over the day we become Rajoguna. I want to possess this, I want to grab this opportunity, and if I don't get it, I get angry. So all these things happens during the day. And during the evening, when we are tired, Tamoguna. So we go for sleep. That is alasyam, laziness. So all the three gunas are within us. So here we are only highlighting. So that means a samsari is fully in Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So we have to get up from that Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Then you should go to Sattva-guna. So that is what he says in the 13th shloka. He says, who is the sattvic person? Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakriti mashritaha bhajanti ananya manasaha jnatva bhutati mavyayam. Mahatmanastu mam partha. Mahatmana, he is a Mahatma. Arjuna, he is a Mahatma. He has got what Prakriti? Not Rakshasim and Asurim. Daivi Prakriti. Sattvic Guna. Divine qualities. Asridaha. He depends on that divine qualities. The previous Prakriti was Rajasic and Tamasic. Bhajanti Ananya Manasaha. All the time devoted only in me. Devoted, his entire mind is in him only. Ananya Manasa. Jnatva. He understands that. What he understands? Bhutadim. Everything is coming from Bhuta Adi. All the five elements. That means the entire world, objects, they are all Bhutadi. Panchabhutas, made up of Panchabhutas. He knows that. I mean, he is not that Panchabhuta. He is above Panchabhuta. Again, Avyayam, imperishable. That means I am an imperishable Atma. Bhajanti Ananya Manasa Jnatva, that is, he understands. Bhutadim. Adi means cause. The cause of my Janma is the Bhutas. Ashritaha means Bhutadim Avyayam. Avyayam means imperishable. Now we can see the difference between an Asuric person or the Rakshasic person versus a divine Sattvic person. So Sattvic person is, he has that divine quality. He want to be 24/7. He want to think of God only. Everything belongs to God. Nothing belongs to me. Even the Rakshasa people, Rakshasa. Now, read in the reversely. It is called Sakshara. Rakshasa reverse is Sakshara. Sa Akshara. Sa Akshara means the one who has Sattvic Guna. Akshara means there is no decay. It is ever available. Sakshara. They are Sattvic Guna. They illumines everything. You can call it consciousness. Rakshasa is devilish people. Sakshara means a divine person. Now, many a time what happens is, this devilish character comes to us by our habits. See, you see a horror movie before going to sleep in the night. Murder takes place, so many things are taking place. And then you go to sleep. the sleep, the dream will continue. That is, it is a continuation of the serial what you have been seeing. That means we are getting inside us in the mind lot of chemical reactions taking place inside our mind from the movie, from the watching the movie. And it also secretes lot of juices, unfavorable juices. You can say they are the one which are harming the body. So we think, that watching a horror movie, that's over. But, that gives you a lot of resultant problems in our system, in the human body, because of chemical reactions and because of secretion of a lot of these unwanted juices. So that is the reason. See, for example, if you are sitting in front of a pool, the pool is absolutely the surface is very clear, no movement, nothing. You put a small pebble in the throws of pebble, some ripples take place, but the ripples are very narrow. But if you put a little thicker, heavier stone, the ripples will be more, and it will take more time to settle down. And if it is a heavy stone, then the water will start flashing, and whatever was available at the bottom also, it will start coming up. Same thing happens in our system, in our body. These unfavorable thoughts, murderous thoughts, so many things, Rakshasic thoughts, Asuric thoughts. So other than Sattvic thoughts, that is the reason for all our, you can call it sicknesses or imbalance of the system, body system, because because it secretes lot of juices, unfavorable juices. And because our body is fully made of chemical, the middle portion is called the chemical. The top portion, the head portion is called the what you call the buddhi, software. All the intellect, everything is there on the buddhi, upstairs. And the bottom portion is called the locomotion, because the legs take you to wherever you want to go and all that. So all these parts are affected because of the way we live, the way we behave. So that means we keep our mind very quiet. That is why, we have to go to the Sattvic people's company, Satsangam. So Bhagavan says here, he says in this shloka, Mahatmana. Who is a Mahatmana? Mahatman. Mahatma means we are all Atmas, Atmans. But our way of life is Rakshasic or Asuric. But Mahatma means that he is all the time, 24/7, he is in touch with Bhagavan. So Sattvic Guna. After that, he has to cross the Sattvic Guna also, because then he becomes a Gunatita. Once he becomes a Gunatita, he is a Jnani. That we will be talking on the chapter 14. So, Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakriti Asritaha. We all have a Prakriti. Prakriti means our Swabhava. When we are born, we have got so much of punyam and pabam stored in our system. So some of the punyam or pabam germinates and we get this body. And we exhaust those things. But in this birth, we also accumulate a lot of other punyam and pabam. So when we depart from this world, those punyam and pabam are added to the earlier one. That is called Sanchita Karma. So that means the karma balance is all the time there, 100% there. So if you want to eliminate this karma, Sanchita Karma, accumulated karmas, the only method is you have to dive deep into yourself and find out what you are, who you are. Then you will come to know, I am not this body, I am not this mind, Mano buddhi agankara chittani nagam. So that means that is called knowledge, Atma Jnanam. In sloka number chapter 5, 26, sloka number 3, there's a beautiful sloka which sums up, our type of life. I read the sloka. Kama krodha viyuktanam, kama krodha viyuktanam, yatinam yata chetasam, abhito brahma nirvanam, vartade viditatmanam. We have discussed this earlier, but you would have forgotten about that. So what he says is, the entire enemy's problems for us is kama and krodha, desire and anger. Kama krodha viyuktanam, the one who has eliminated this kama and krodha, he becomes a yati. Yati means he becomes a jnani, sannyasi, yatinam, yata chetasam. His mind is very pure. Absolutely nothing will shake him. What does he get that? Abhito Brahma Nirvanam. He gets Brahma Nirvanam. Vartade, he gets it. Vidit Atmana. That means he has won over the body, sense organs, gross body. Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartade Vidit Atmana. This Brahma Nirvanam is the ultimate goal which we should acquire. Nirvanam is nothing but throwing out. See, there are, in the Jain people, there are two categories. One is called Digambaras. Shvetambaras and Digambaras. Shvetambara means they always put white dress. Shweta, white. And Digambara means they do not wear any dress. Literally what they call it, Digambara, is that we should get rid of this mind, body, gross body, sense, mind, intellect, ego and all that. Then you become Brahman. That is called Brahma Nirvanam. To give an example, suppose we are all, the whole day we are in a very hot place. Especially in summer, you are in somewhere in Nagpur or Rajasthan, Kota. It is so humid and hot. So if you enter into an air-conditioned room at that time, the entire air-conditioned room gives you such a cool atmosphere that you feel relaxed. When you go inside the air-conditioned room, you do not go inside the air conditioner, because air conditioner has created this atmosphere, cool atmosphere inside. So similarly here, if you have this Brahma Jnanam, that is what he says, Brahma Nirvanam, if you have this Brahma Jnanam, you will also get a totally divine atmosphere surrounding you. See, you can stay anywhere in the room, this portion or that portion, this corner, that corner, everywhere that cool air is surrounding. That is the quality of a jnani. So if you go near to a jnani, suppose we go and meet in front of Ramana Maharshi, they always say, a divine atmosphere is created there. I mean, you are very peaceful. Your mind is peaceful. But the moment you come out of that room, then you become a samsari again. So that is Brahma Nirvanam. So we have to change from asuric nature to sattvic nature, Daivi nature. And then from Daivi nature, we should transgress ourselves into Brahma Nirvana. So that is what he is talking about. Because the chapter I told you, it is called Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. It is a secret knowledge. It is a special knowledge. All people cannot understand unless and until you are a qualified person to understand this knowledge. So he says, our perception today is limited to the surface of our life. Limited to the surface of our life. And we are not aware of the divine element. We all have a divine element inside. We call it in the heart. Without that, you will not be sentient within us. But the tragedy is that we are not aware of it. We are really a peaceful people. Real peace is not for such one who is enamored only on the surface. The mind will fritter itself away, loafing around in the future pastures of desires. Mokasha, previous word. So what we should try to understand from this sloka is a very important sloka. Mokasha, Moka Karmanaha, Moka. That is our asuric life, today's life. And from there you have to go to the sloka. Next, Mahatmana. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim asritaha bhajanti ananya manasaha. That means the mind should not be diverted at all. Because today what happens is if I sit for dhyanam, especially meditation, our meditation is, you will be sitting in meditation, but other than the object of meditation, we will be roaming around everywhere. So that is the thing. That means we are only on the surface. We are not at the deeper level. So once you go into deeper level, then our life will become complete. Purnatvam. We will get Purnatvam. So to get this Mahatma status, we should have what? Bhakti. We need bhakti, devotion. Then we need jnanam, knowledge. Then we need vairagyam, dispassion. If we develop all these things, then we will become a Mahatma. And Bhagavan says, they worship me, chant my name, through jnanam know me, and then worship me through bhakti. That is called parabhakti. They know the inexhaustible, the imperishable, the immeasurable me. The primordial me, existence. So this is our Bhudadim Avyayam, the cause of our, you can call it Bhuta Adi. Bhuta Adi means, as I told you, the cause for our existence is because of these elements. But if you come to know that we are made up of these Panchabhutas and we are imperishable, our Atma is imperishable, naturally, our life will be Sattvic life. And then we can attain this. So these sloka number 12 and sloka number 13 gives a contradictory way how you can become from an asuric person to a sattvic person. Now we come to the sloka number 14, which I think Mr. Natarajan will be explaining. Natarajan.
Hari Om, Jai Guru. So this Mahatma, that means the Sattvika people, that means who are predominantly Sattvika Guna, and who is interested in moksha. We call it mokshu. People interested in moksha. There are it is described like the 3 types, not in this sloka, but generally. the person who has interest, he has other interests also. So in his agenda, there may be about 20 items. So one of the items will be this, the spiritual seeking. Okay, so whenever he gets time, he will try to understand, attend satsang, etc. Then the next level, after understanding, he is more serious about this, and in his agenda, that means his priority, it changes. So first or second item will be the spiritual seeking. So he tries to understand this through the attending to talks and other things. The other type that we call Tivira Mumukshu. He will have this top priority, but below that there is nothing. That means whole time seeker. Here, this 14th sloka, it talks about such people. So what do they? How do they pursue? Here it says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yadantasya dridavritah namasyantasya mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Satatam kirtayanto mam yadantasya dridavritah namasyantasya mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Here every word, it explains how he is, how serious he is. Satatam, first word itself. Satatam means all the time, without, that is constantly. Satatam kirtayantah. So what does he do? Kirtayantah means praising, all prayer, praising, all these things. Constantly praising. Whom? Mam. Mam is me. That is Krishna, he says. Then cha. But here cha means striving. Yadanta dridavritah. With a firm resolve. So that means he is very serious about that. The Brita itself we have seen, Britam. We use the word Britam. Britam means I have taken this Britam, so he's serious about it, and he takes all the care to see that he completes the Britam successfully. So like that, Dhrida Brita is Dhrida with resolve, firm resolve. Then Namasyantah, that means here Namasyanta means surrender. What is surrender? We'll see. Surrender to me. Then the next sentence is Mam Bhaktya, with devotion. Nitya Yuktah, ever steadfast. That is Nitya Yuktah means those people who are all the time. That means steadfast in this seeking. Upasate, they worship me. So what all he does, it is given here. That means constantly praising me, striving with firm resolve, and surrendering to me with devotion, great devotion. So here, that means who? These ever steadfast people, that is the Mahatmas, how they worship, that is Mumukshus, they worship me. So how they pursue the spiritual path, it's explained here. First, the word is, important word is Kritavrataha. They are of firm resolve. As I explained to you, Vridam means he is very serious about it, and they are firmly committed to this. That sort of explanation. So resolve means what? Firm resolve means what? What is their aim? I want to attain Ishvara. Ishvara means moksha. Moksha, from that word into the mumukshu came, the people who are interested in moksha. See, what is this moksha itself? It is, it is understood in different ways. Moksha means after death I will go to Swargam or this sort of thing. And but really, when we go deeply, moksha means we have anybody, we have in the mind. We are not free in the sense things affect us. Whatever we do, if it is successful, we are happy. If it is a failure, we are dejected. That sort of thing. And like this, every day we are not. Even though, for example, people who are living here, everything is taken care. But still, something is missing. We don't feel that we are complete. We are not all the time happy. That sort of thing. So this, that means we are not clearly understood what is moksha. That means what is God, what is world, and the individual. There is always sort of doubt. I am different from the world. How we are. So these doubts. So Gita, like scriptures, they step by step they explain what is what and all. So once we understand slowly, so all the doubts are cleared. So we get clarity about our life and this. So we are free. We are absolute no doubt. This is the situation. Actually, it's all mind and buddhi oriented. Buddhi always need jnana, knowledge in any field, but especially in this field. I shouldn't have any doubt. So for that we pursue, going through Gita and thoroughly understanding every sentence and how to implement it. That is more important. It's the meaning. It's not very difficult to explain, but how I go about, that should be very clear. So how do we apply in day-to-day life? So for that, in fact, one has to prepare himself. We all know that, sadhana chatushtayam, like that. And even karma yoga is also a sort of preparation to remove the impurities in the mind, chitta suddhi, because then only one can understand what is talked about and experience. So here the Tivira Mumukshu. So what does he do? Satatam kirtayantaha. They keep Satatam kirtayantaha, I mean all the time they talk about only this, think about only this, and they, especially in satsanga and other things, and discuss and get their doubts cleared by discussion. So they do it frequently, often. Satatam, no, that means all the time. Whenever they, there is time, whenever we discuss, the discussion, this thing will be only mainly about spirituality and probably about Gita or any other scripture. So all the time thinking, even after discussing, it will be in the mind. How do we go about why this is there? So like that, it's all the time thinking. It's very, very important, this one. Not only how to go about the truth also. Slowly in that, the truth also, we can't say anything as final truth. That is the beauty of this. The experiencing Brahman. For that also, there are many ways it is explained. Aparokshanubhuti, direct experience. It is called. What is that? And who experiences this sort of thinking and it is generally everywhere it is stated that the ego will totally dissolve. Then only that aparokshanubhuti, direct experience takes place. Direct contact takes place. This itself, it should be with rather very sort of to understand that how is it that person, that one who wants to know if he is dissolved, that means the seeker is totally dissolved, then only the reality he merges with that. So that is the sort of thing. Like simple example, in sleep, we are very peaceful, happy. But when you are sleeping, we don't think or say or anything such like, oh, I am sleeping peacefully. Oh, it's a nice, peaceful sleep. Only when we get up in the morning, the thought comes, oh, I slept peacefully. I didn't know anything. Oh, 8 hours total, real sleep, like that. Similarly, the so-called samadhi experience is something like that. So afterwards one can, that's how all these scriptures came, what it is, how it is, and even though it is earlier and all, they used to explain. I mean, nobody can see it, nobody can touch it, it cannot be experienced and all. But what is that experience? Slowly we will understand. So like this, all our doubts should be completely cleared. That is the main effort. So, the yadantaha, it is very, very important. Putting forth the right effort whenever there is time, or create time for that. That is more important. That is all this karma, so-called karma yoga, upasana, and what is the other one? Acquiring, the ethical values and all. It's all talked about. All these are for making the mind clean. That means chitta suddhi. So that is the preparation to understand or completely, the what you call experience, or come to the stage where if the guru says, you are that, that any of those Mahavagya, Aham Brahmasmi and all, we will be able to clearly understand what is meant by that. Who is who says that Aham Brahmasmi? What is that Aham? Everything slowly one gets, he will understand. Then, so all this Karma Yoga. Then, Bhaktyamam Namasyantaha. So, they constantly surrender to God. What is meant by constantly surrendering? Surrendering means when we talk or when we experience anything, there are two aspects, the mind and the Atma, which are very close. So everything is actually experienced by Atma, that is the only sentient being. Then, when you say some beautiful things, like snowfall or big waterfalls or any of these things, first time when we see, that experience, immediately, it gives, in Tamil we call, Mei Marand. You forget about your body and everything. So there is that sort of experience. Then mind says, I must come here again, I must bring my family or other friends and show them and all. So this mind starts thinking like that. So mind is very close, but when it is experienced, mind is absent. Then only the total experience takes place. That's why that Mai Marandu means Mai includes, that is body includes the mind, body, mind complex. So everything is forgotten. Then it recollects as in sleep. We don't see the peace or when we are sleeping. Afterwards we say, I slept peacefully. Same thing. Afterwards, the mind, of course, because it is closely associated, it remembers and then thinks about it. So bhaktya, with the devoted the mind, that is namasyanta. So this anything here, what is that word used? The prayatna, yadantasti. So that yadantaha is yadantaha means that is our prayatna, that is our effort. It also requires God's grace, which we get by surrendering. Namasyantaha. So namasyantaha is the part which explains the role of grace. The yadantaha, that is the effort, which is a past of, we can call it free will, effort. So these two have to go together. One of them alone cannot lead us there. So both are required, grace as well as our effort. So the namasyantaha is to get the grace. So both are needed to reach the ultimate reality. So here another word used is dikte yuktaha. That means constantly pursue. Nitya. This is there in, I don't know whether, no, that is in the chapter there. Ananya Chintayantoma. Here itself it will come later. We will discuss in detail there. There also the Nitya word will come. All the time. Actually, once we go on understanding what is that, we know that all the time we are that only. Because slowly, once we understand what is Brahman, the next this thing is whatever you see, including my body, Brahman alone is that. That is the sort of final understanding. So even if I see the the window, that is also that only. So there is no, all the time we are in touch. That much understanding will develop. So you don't have to accept some. Here also, I think earlier it came. Whatever we think when the body dies. So the continuation, next is depending on that. So but the general advice is to think of Shankara or let's say Narayana or Krishna. But once you understood clearly, whatever you see, the television or the curtain, everything is that. Once it is understood, there is no especially we don't have to think of Krishna or Shiva or Narayana, because everything is that only. Ananta Rupa, Ananta Nama. So that everything is Narayana only. Once that is clearly understood, except that nothing else is there. There is only one being. So slowly, when we go on understanding, it doesn't become a sort of a problem. Oh, how can I think of the God all the time? We have to go on chanting whatever mantra is given as diksha to us. To some extent, it's once we chant and then experience, get that experience, it's a clarity that everything is that only. It's right from the first this thing itself, Vishnu Sahasranama, Vishwam Vishnu. There is no difference at all. So that is the sort of clarity one gets. So that's why all the time, when it will come, all the time, spending like this, it's a beautiful, that way every word is important. Satatam kirtayanto mam, yatanchacha dridavvrataha, namasyantasya mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Not sitting and then just that is putting flower on the idol. That alone is not upasana. It is all the time when we see that is everything is upasana only. So to that extent, our understanding grows. Again, many times we have seen what is that? The Atma is here, and that is the Buddhi is Parvati, like that it goes. When I walk, it is a pradakshana, and whatever I talk is a prayer and to Shiva, like that it goes. So that becomes actual. So whatever is done, because I don't do anything, things are just happen, things happen. So to that extent, how it happens, here itself it is there. Just now Ramlanji explained how is the Rajoguna person, Tamo and this Sattvic Guna. So here also that's why it is there. Daivim Prakritima Sridya Mahatmas. So actually that's a predominant guna, that is Sattvic Guna. Those people are like that. So every aspect is understood. So, and everything is what? These three gunas is nothing but, he says, it's all from me only. So that is also that this is dynamic part, the static part is Brahman. So through that, the world is animated and actuated. So this understanding, when it comes, everything is that only. So to understand that, this sort of pursuit all the time, that is very, very important. When we are eating, playing, you need not think that understanding should be there all the time. Oh, I am with this self all the time. Self is always present. So whatever, and we have seen that, that five, what is that? Vedantic capsules. I am of the nature of pure and eternal consciousness. I am the only source of peace, happiness, and security. So, and I experience the world through the sense organs. And whatever happens in the body or in the world, they don't affect me. This becomes clear.
Natarajan, time I say, what you do is
Okay.
you continue next class, whatever is left over, and take up sloka number 15 also.
Okay, right.
Okay,
Okay.
so that
Hari Om.
now people have timing,
I didn't see the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see the time. Okay. Hari Om. Jai Guru.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you all.
Namaskaram, Mama.